Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nacker, just want to let you know about some of the top stories that we're following right now. There's a developing story right now happening in DeKalb County where there is a shooting investigation underway at the moment. I want to encourage you to go to our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, or our free mobile news app if you haven't yet downloaded that app, so you can get updates sent right to your phone on that. But the investigation is happening in Lithonia on Woodcrest Walk. Authorities have confirmed there that there is one person who has been injured, is in stable condition. Officers are working to figure out what exactly led up to that shooting, but we're going to keep following the latest developments. And again, you can sign up for free news alerts sent right to your phone with our free Atlanta News First mobile news app. Okay, I also want to let you know about the investigation into a bomb threat that is happening right now. This threat allegedly made to a flight, or rather targeting a flight that was headed for Atlanta, and was a Frontier Airlines flight. So the FBI is now looking into this and investigating. The plane landed safely at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport last night. According to the airline, a passenger on board Flight 1571 from Baltimore to the world's busiest airport last night told a flight attendant they'd received an anonymous airdrop message saying there was an explosive device on the plane. FBI officials sent Atlanta News First a statement saying that there was no known danger found to the aircraft or the passengers. An investigation to determine the person or group responsible for making the threat is ongoing, but certainly caused a big scare. But again, that flight did land safely at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport last night. Also happening at the airport, let's take a live look there right now. TSA workers have been rallying against a looming government shutdown. They say that it would have these employees screening airline passengers without getting paid. They're not happy about it. Madeline Montgomery has more.
Right before the holidays, some transportation security officers may be faced with tough calls.
TSOs had to worry about whether do I feed my family, do I pay my rent, do I go buy diapers, do I leave my child at home unattended because I can't afford to pay for childcare.
That's what officers fear could happen if the government shuts down. It's a situation they've faced before.
Definitely not good for us federal employees because guess what? The TSO workers who I represent, Transportation Security Administration workers, they have to come to work without pay.
That's why the American Federation of Government Employees is rallying at the world's busiest airport, pushing passengers to call their legislators to figure out a budget before current funding expires. There's also a bill the group is pushing, H.R. 3394. That would ensure TSA officers would keep getting paid during a shutdown using the security airline fee that passengers already pay.
When you go through, see an officer a little down or whatever, just know that they are a little bit stressed at this time and give them some kind words of encouragement.
All right, our thanks to Madeline Montgomery for that report. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on that story with the potential government shutdown about a week away. All right, another story that we have been following as well is the investigation into some threatening letters sent to election officials in Georgia. Allegedly, FBI agents and postal inspectors are racing to find whoever's behind the threats to election officials in Georgia. Letters that may have been mailed from the Pacific Northwest, they say, contain trace amounts of fentanyl. And a source familiar with the investigation is telling CBS News that more than a dozen letters were sent from the Pacific Northwest to offices in the states highlighted on this map on your screen right now: Oregon, California, Nevada, and Washington State, in addition to Georgia. Back here in Georgia, election officials have been targeted since 2020. The Secretary of State saying that the threat appears to be personal. Rebecca Schramm has more.
The letter was addressed to this facility, the new elections hub on Campbellton-Fairburn Road. It was already in transit when elections officials found out about it.
You can't think of every single threat, so this now raises it on our radar.
More than a dozen letters were addressed to election offices in Washington State, Oregon, California, Nevada, and here in Georgia. A source familiar with the investigation tells CBS News. They may have been mailed from the Pacific Northwest. Initial tests show that some of the letters contain trace amounts of fentanyl, but more sensitive tests are ongoing. As Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger talked about the fentanyl-laced letters, he noted that 5 years ago, his son died of a fentanyl overdose.
Some people like to call fentanyl a drug, but it's actually poison. It'll kill you.
Fulton County has been the recipient of several election-related threats over the last few years. It's where former President Trump was indicted in a case of alleged racketeering. Just to be on the safe side, the county elections hub, which is closed today ahead of Veterans Day, is now equipped with Narcan, a medicine that rapidly reverses an opioid overdose. Gabe Sterling is the Chief Operating Officer for the Georgia Secretary of State's office.
But it's also another stressor for elections officials that are under tremendous pressure already.
Raffensperger called the mailing an act of domestic terrorism. He said it will not stop the public's right to a free and fair election. In Union City, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
All right. And our thanks to Rebecca for that report. Now, so far investigators say that they do believe that the fentanyl has not been harmful because of how it was in the envelopes, essentially, and because no one seems to have ingested it. But still, Narcan, of course, is the overdose counteracting treatment or drug. It's being sent to these facilities just in case as a precaution. Okay, let's talk about Atlanta's nightlife and a controversial new plan that could help Atlanta's nightlife thrive late into the night. City Councilwoman Keisha Waits has a plan that she's proposing to extend the last call at bars from 2:30 a.m. all the way to 4 a.m. So bars would be open until 4 a.m. What do you think of that? That would be Monday through Saturday morning. The ordinance nicknamed the Atlanta Hospitality Act says that the city could increase fees for alcohol permits, and the money could pay for more police officers and additional security cameras. The city's public safety committee is expected to hear the proposal for the first time on Monday, but of course there are concerns about public safety. Could it be more drunk drivers on the roads because of this? What about early morning shift workers? Does it create traffic for them? And hence the element of having more police officers and additional security cameras that would be paid for with alcohol permits. That's something that the city says would be a consideration there. So anyway, certainly many bars feel that this would increase their revenue and help their businesses, but it's a controversial plan, something we're going to keep following. All right, thanks for joining us on Atlanta News First Plus. And if you haven't done so yet, download our free app, and then you can get updates, whether it's weather or breaking news stories, sent right to your phone. Have a great day. Thanks for being with us.